This week in crypto was anything but quiet. From game-changing ETF launches to Ripple's bold push into traditional banking, and even a crypto whale waking up after 14 years, the landscape is shifting fast. If you're even remotely involved in crypto, this was a week you couldn't afford to miss. Let's break it all down in this week's crypto roundup from July 1st to July 7th, 2025. Bitcoin held its ground above $108,000 this week, refusing to dip significantly despite global market uncertainty. But the real action? Altcoins, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and even Dogecoin made some serious moves. Ethereum bounced back above $2,500. Optimism around staking, Ethereum L2 scaling solutions, and long-term network upgrades is helping it regain momentum. Solana absolutely exploded in attention this week with the launch of the first ever US Solana staking ETF, ticker symbol SSK. This ETF doesn't just hold SOL, it stakes it, offering about 7.3% in yield. That's huge. $33 million traded on day one, including $12 million in new capital. It's regulated, handled by Anchorage Digital, and represents a massive shift in how Wall Street looks at altcoins. ETFs aren't just for Bitcoin and Ethereum anymore. This is a major moment for Solana and possibly a new standard for yield-bearing digital assets. Ripple made waves by applying for a US national bank charter. That's right. Ripple is now positioning itself to operate with a Federal Reserve master account. This isn't just about XRP price action. Ripple wants to launch its stablecoin, RLUSD, with a built-in settlement layer. And by becoming a bank, Ripple could bypass traditional middlemen entirely. That would put them in competition with USDC and Tether, but on a regulated, government-backed level. This move could redefine the future of crypto-powered banking. Meanwhile, the US passed new legislation supporting stablecoin development and compliance under the Genius Act. It finally provides a clearer framework for how banks can issue stablecoins legally. In response, exchanges like Coinbase are gearing up. They just acquired Liquify, a company that helps launch compliant tokens. The goal? To get ready for a tokenized securities wave. Not just coins, full stocks and assets on-chain. One of the most jaw-dropping events this week was a 10,000 BTC whale wallet, moving for the first time in 14 years. That's over $1 billion in Bitcoin, untouched since the early Satoshi days. The reason behind the move isn't clear. Could be cold storage changes or OTC trading. But these kinds of whale shifts tend to precede major market events, and the timing has analysts paying attention. We also saw governments quietly getting involved. Pakistan announced plans to build a Bitcoin reserve using surplus hydroelectric power. That's right. While some countries debate banning crypto, others are preparing to stockpile it. Altcoins outside the top 10 had their moments too. SEI, Lil Pepe, XLM, and JUP all trended in pockets of the market. SEI is being explored for Forex settlements. Lil Pep, once a joke, got community attention and potential DEX listings. XLM is being discussed again in institutional circles for cross-border stablecoin corridors, trying to compete with Ripple in that space. Now, let's run through where the major coins ended this week. Bitcoin, $108,100, up 1.2% on the week. Whales are accumulating and volume remains solid. Ethereum, $2,530, up 4.1%. Technicals show an RSI creeping toward overbought territory, but sentiment remains bullish. Solana, $146.80, up 12.6%. ETF launch plus TVL growth are pushing Solana into new territory. XRP, $2.23, up 6.3%, holding structure well. Traders eyeing a push toward $2.42 if volume confirms. Dogecoin, $0.164, up 3.7%. Elon's subtle integrations are keeping Doge in conversation, especially on X payments. Cardano, $0.58, little change. Consolidation below the 200-day moving average, but network activity is steady. In summary, this wasn't a sideways week. This was a shifting week. Solana's ETF isn't just news, it's a new standard. Ripple's bank application isn't just bold, it's potentially revolutionary. Ethereum remains solid, but other chains are starting to chip away at its dominance with faster, more flexible systems. If you've been on the sidelines, this week was your wake-up call. We're not just seeing price movement, we're watching the next phase of real-world integration. Like and follow to stay ahead of the curve. We post daily updates, weekly roundups, and everything in between. Drop a comment if you think Solana's ETF just kicked off the next big bull cycle. This has been your Crypto Weekly Roundup, and we'll see you at the top.